Male supremacy is one of the reoccurring components of fascist regimes. And I find this really interesting because of how much we've seen that, but also because I think it speaks to how fascists obtain power by hijacking the beliefs and fears of conservatives. Right, for a long time, conservative belief has been, well, men have a role to play in society and women have a role. And if you don't fit into those roles, you're an outcast. You're a person who doesn't belong here. And so fascists, all they have to do is chip away at this so you get to the point where it's no longer men have a role, women have a role. They need to stick to those and that thing. It becomes men have a role that's higher than women's. And then they consolidate power. When fascism was taking over in Italy, Mussolini emphasized the idea that, modern masculinity is a threat to social stability, and we need men who are dominant and in power and women who are submissive. Same with Nazi Germany. Hitler emphasized that aggressive masculinity is one of the key components to a well-functioning, successful society. I just find it really interesting that this thing that the left has been talking about for a while as a problem is linked to fascism, which is also a problem. And I think this speaks to the class war over the culture war, right? Because this is obviously a distraction. There's no harm to a society where women take on more masculine roles and men take on more feminine roles, because those definitions are just completely made up. They're social constructs, and we are told that we have to enforce them because otherwise society will fall apart. And that's just bullshit. And the billionaires have convinced the right that this is what we need to do, that otherwise society will fall apart. They did it in Mussolini's Italy. They did it in Nazi Germany. They're doing it now. And it's just another piece of evidence that the culture war is what they want us to focus on, so we don't focus on the class war. Although looking into this more and thinking about it a little more, a lot of them emphasize birth rates. They emphasize that women need to stay home so that they can give birth, lots of it. And that kind of makes sense if you think like your country is number one in the whole world and you need to spread your influence to the whole world. Well, you need numbers to do that. So maybe that's why they say it. I don't know that it's totally a distraction, but it's definitely mostly a distraction.